Good morning. So last night we got some pivots that they wipe around a power line and we had to move them, but one pivot showed it had power and everything at the panel box. It's just nothing was clicking to engage, so we don't know if it's a fuse or what it is for sure. But before I head out there, on my way, we have a shed that we keep pivot irrigation parts in, so I'm going to grab a couple little fuses just in case if that's the problem, and head out there and see if I can get them moving. If not, we'll have to call somebody smarter than me, which is, oh, that could be anybody. So out here in central Nebraska anyway, and probably most of Nebraska, I would gather, especially near cattle country. We're kind of more in cattle country because we're in more hills, and so they tend to be pasture and stuff. But a lot of the corn stalks residue gets utilized for cattle grazing, and what they'll do, they'll send the cattle out and they'll kind of clean up whatever corn the combines might left behind and just eat residue as roughage and stuff like that. So that's pretty common around here. Soybeans, they might turn them out on that, but they don't get as much value out of the soybean stubble, so it's more common on corn ground. And we do get a little bit of rent out of it, not much, but it helps. And so it's one way the cattle producers will utilize, you know, some of the leftover corn roughage anyway. But back onto the getting the pivots going here. Morning, Margaret. Morning, son. Power's on. So I'm wondering if it's something to do with this, guys. Not sure what's wrong with that. But I'll go start the other one over here. Hopefully it's not doing the same thing, I guess. At least get one moving out of the way. That's how it should work. On, I got a Valley here, blue panel box. We got voltage here, like it shows, but I don't have any lights that say panel or anything, and it doesn't move. Like nothing will engage. Doing some inrows.
And a text being sent, Jonathan is out of surgery and things went well.
Good to know. Mother-in-law had a back surgery today. Herniated disc. Now everybody knows. You're welcome. So is eating this while harvesting the same as eating a hamburger at a slaughterhouse? Let me know. So we'll get steep parts in the field, like there's two deep ridges over there, and it makes it tough when the carts are loaded to travel out safely, and so we'll cut out little trails for them to make it easier on them, plus be gentler on the equipment, in theory. So over there are a couple well, actually there's more than a couple, I think there's 4 of them, but they're pretty good size hog buildings, and what we get to utilize on some of our fields is they'll pipe over to these pivots the effluent that comes up off of them, out of those pits. Effluent meaning their poop, so we get to use that as fertilizer, and that really works well on adding nutrients back to these hilltops. Pipe it over and they'll run it through the pivots, and that's how it gets applied over here without having to do any more additional application to a tractor or like something like that. It might not be quite as nicely applicated as like an applicator would, but it's still able to spread it fairly even and add fertilizer and nutrients to the soil that way. Well, last field, and it looks flat. 220 acres of pure flatness. Well, one good thing is wife's here with supper, so hopefully that'll cheer me up. Garrett's here too. Good morning, guys. Starting the next day here. I'm hoping this will be the last day of harvest, but where this stuff is down and we're having to crawl through the field, no promises there. But hopefully it is. On this field here, I'll kind of show you. It's a 300-acre field and they cut silage on it. But we like to have cover on the ground, whether it be the corn residue or the soybean residue. At least in our area, on our farm. Everybody has a different opinion on this, but no, it was a guy came in and planted a cover crop, but one of the biggest things we wanted to make sure was to be able to strip till in between the row. And so he has a, I don't know how he does it. I didn't get to see machine because we're all running around on combines, but he widened out the strips. And so here's what it looks like. It hasn't had much growth yet. I don't know if it'll get much more this winter, it just depends on the weather. But we should be able to come, because we strip till in between the row here, we should be able to run our strip tiller down this mark if we want to, and just be able to strip till without having to cross any sod clumps that the cover crop leaves behind. And so this should help with the lack of residue, prevent some erosion happening on these hills. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this works anyway. So I'm going now. This pivot was stuck, but luckily I had the help of a friend came out and helped out. He actually caught me on camera, so that's always embarrassing. But no, hopefully we can get it going. Our hope is it'll crawl up this hill. That's our biggest worry. We thought about going forward with it, but we're just gonna try to get this pivot as far to the west as we can. Hopefully it'll go all the way, but we're crossing our fingers to see how well that goes. But at least it'll be less of a triangle to pick out. But that's just something you gotta deal with pivots on these hills or anywhere. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, you don't have to go far to find ears out here. You can just feel them as you walk. There, 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 there. It's not good. I don't know what happened with this hybrid, but it's just by far the worst. But it's the last field. We're doing the best we can. That's all we can do, but we may have to go to soybeans next year on this one just so we can spray for volunteer corn. But if it stays in the ear, it shouldn't sprout, but you'll still get, I don't know, we'll still have issues probably or something, but just tough to look at. I'm full now, waiting for green cards. Probably get out and see how bad it is. Probably should have. Just broke our last land, and the rows are getting shorter here, and hopefully we'll be done here in a few, after bid anyway. I guess I won't say how long, bad at guessing. So bummer for me, my fan belt broke that cleans the grain, so I get to watch them finish, but there's only 4 3 rounds left, so I'll just watch and then we'll take stuff home. Gotta love point rows. Wow.
Go ahead, John. You can go tell us if anything's coming over the hills.
Getting ready to head them home. Got about a 7-mile drive. Shouldn't take too terrible long. Just cleaning off my feeder house a little bit. Can you jump? This could go good or bad. Well, that's probably safer, isn't it? Safety first, right, bud? Mm-hmm. Poor pickup's a mess. So the cows are taking a look at Garrett playing on the mountain over there. Mound of dirt. Does that make it a movie? So I had to come check out the top of the new bins, or the grain leg here. So I'm standing in between the 2 legs. This one's got 2 legs. Here's the bearings that are on the top. Sorry if I'm shaking. It takes a little bit to climb all the way up. I just don't know how they mount all this stuff without being freaked out. I mean, those are heavy motors on brackets, but it's a long ways down, that's for sure. I'll probably have to get a little bit used to this. Hopefully I don't have to climb up here very much. Here's kind of the distributor, or I don't know, the 2 ways. I don't know if they're just 2 ways that we have on these now. But that's what goes down to the grain bins. There's Garrett. There's Mommy walking. Oh, they look like ants. This is 130 foot. I'm kind of on the, there's 2 levels. There's the top level. Here's the middle level. Well, not middle, just underneath the top level. Feel a little safer, there's more room to walk around. This is more your scouting deck. There's kind of the view of the farm, I guess. Beautiful. About a mile the way the crows flies, there's the neighbor's leg. I think it's 129 foot, so we told them to build it 130 foot. You know how it is.
Compared to like, party, like Indian.
I don't know. Is that tall?
Yeah.
Are you gonna climb up that? We were just talking about how I finally actually get to watch it, and I told Teresa it's kind of one of those things I get to enjoy by not actually having to deal with it, meaning I sit in a combine and corn just gets away from the combine. Right, Garrett? He's gathering rocks. What do you got there?
What?
You got the mother load?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I got rocks.
Are you gonna take those to Grandma and Grandpa?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey guys, so we got done harvesting last night. It's a really good feeling to have. I guess to explain to a non-farmer, it's just once that last rows are picked, it's just like a huge drain. I don't know, you just feel relieved and just excited. But this year, 2019, has been it's been more of a struggle than most for a lot of guys in the farming industry. And so, you know, it's taken an emotional toll on a lot of people. And so I just want to say, you know, even in my videos, it even kind of takes a toll on even us, and maybe I don't show that much emotion in my videos. I don't know if you could gather some of that, but it has been a little bit more of a struggle, especially during harvest, when, I mean, at the end we put in all that work, especially kind of on a tougher year, and then it just kind of falls down on the ground. It's just tough to watch. And you know, you just want every year to be a success, and not every year is going to be a success, but it just kind of drew out harvest longer for us, and just kind of the weight on the bins and all that stuff too. But No, if you're a farmer that's still harvesting, I just want to say I'm thinking about you, praying for you, and I know it's kind of a struggle to even kind of watch. I know they got the propane shortage going on, and just, you know, corn's still wet, like in South Dakota, North Dakota, and, you know, even east and Minnesota, and you know, it's just been a really tough year. And so I just hope you guys keep on keeping on, and I'm just really glad to also see this is kind of my first year of doing this vlogging thing too, so I hope you guys appreciated that. I kind of enjoyed putting some of these on. Sometimes it's kind of hard for me to come up with what to say, and I want to make it relevant. I don't want to waste your guys' time either. So hopefully you find them somewhat informational, and just to kind of see what's going on out here at the farm, because I do think it's important to kind of know farming is kind of one of those essential needs still. Not that anything's more important than another, or anybody's jobs or least or less important, but just to kind of know where your food supply is somewhat coming from. I mean, it's not all deriving from us, obviously, but this is just kind of one aspect of it. I mean, it used to be farms were a little bit of everything. You had cows, chickens, you know, hogs. Now it's just a little more streamlined now. A lot of us are picking kind of what we do best and kind of going with that. Mine, I feel, and my more passion is farming. My dad and brother have some cows on the side, but they're still more kind of farm focused, with just being more diversified with a little bit of cattle. And so that's kind of how that's going for us anyway. But no, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching these videos, and hopefully you're getting something out of them. And yeah, I'll try to, not that this season stops. Farming's not one of those where this season stops and then the next one keeps going. A lot of them, like, we've already started planning for 2020. A lot of you farmer knows the seed guys have been out. They like their orders early, even before you even almost get done harvesting, which is kind of tough to make those decisions while you're still harvesting. We haven't even got a grasp on what did well and what didn't do well, but and so that's kind of what we're going to start doing now this week, is just kind of figuring out what we did, because this year really threw a lot of question marks back at us, like, what are we doing wrong, what are we doing right? Because the things that we've been doing in the past didn't seem to work as well this year, but it just could have been the year. So we got a lot of stuff to analyze and go through and stuff. So so that's what we'll be starting to do now. A little more office work. Another thing we kind of got to start doing, the ground isn't quite frozen yet, so hopefully we can get some we don't do a lot of fall tillage, but what we got to start doing is we have a lot of fields that received an exponential amount of rainfall this year, and it's caused a lot of washing issues. And so we got to go through there and get some dirt working equipment and start fixing those gullies and pivot tracks, just to kind of get those back up into shape, just so we can farm it again. Last year, as many as you know, it was a brutal winter. Then we went right into planting season. We didn't have much time to get a lot of stuff fixed, and so we kind of patched it and then went with it, and that's why we kind of had a lot of issues, you know, during harvest. We had combines get stuck a few times. My brother actually got stuck the other night, so we had to pull him out. Just washouts and stuff to do with. And we're looking at different ways to maybe manage those, since, I mean, it's we've never had a year quite like this to get gullies like that. So we're kind of looking at different ways. Maybe we need to, you know, fix those spots with dirt work equipment, fill them in, and then maybe plant some kind of cover crop even in just those specific areas, just to kind of get something to hold those through spring and help them to hold without erosion more. So and we might never get a year like we had this last year again, but I mean, God only knows, right? So no, I really appreciate it, guys, once again, watching these videos, and we'll carry on. So yeah, if you just kind of want to help support the channel, it really does help when you hit the like and subscribe, and it just kind of promotes the channel, I guess, that way. Not that I like to advertise myself, but it's just one of those things and how it works. But no, guys, once again, appreciate it. We'll catch you later.